Welcome, brothers and sisters. Well done if you stayed for Desire of Ages. We're in Desire of Ages part 14, and we're reading from 30, paragraph 1. At the time of the birth of Christ, the nation was chafing under the rule of her foreign masters and raked with internal strife. The Jews had been permitted to maintain the form of a separate government, but nothing could disguise could disguise the fact they were under the Roman yoke, or reconcile them to the restriction of their power. The Romans claimed the right of appointing and removing the high priest, and the office was often secured by fraud, bribery, and even murder. Thus priesthood became more and more corrupt. Yet the priests still possessed great power, and they employed it for selfish and mercenary ends. The people were subjected to their merciless demands and were so heavily taxed by the Romans. This state of affairs caused widespread discontent. Popular outbreaks were frequent. Greed and violence, distrust, and spiritual apathy were eating out the very heart of the nation. Hatred of the Romans and national and spiritual pride led the Jews to still adhere rigorously to their forms of worship. The priests tried to maintain a reputation for sanctity of scrupulous attention to their ceremonies of religion. The people in their darkness and oppression, and the rulers thirsting for power, longed for the coming of one who would vanquish their enemies and restore the kingdom of Israel. They had studied the prophecies, but without spiritual insight. Thus, they overlooked those scriptures that point to the humiliation of Christ's first advent, and misapplied those that speak of the glory of his second coming. Pride obscured their vision. They interpreted prophecy in an ordinance with their selfish desires. And that, brothers and sisters, is the end of chapter 2 of Desire of Ages. We're going to be going to chapter 3 on the next one. So we see, which we know already, that the Pharisees and the people of Israel, they mixed the first coming with the second coming, because they were really longing for someone to come and vanquish them or free them, or sort of bring them to liberty from this Roman tyranny, this Roman rule with heavy taxes and sort of forced sort of doctrines that they didn't really understand or were unable to keep, right? And even the priests didn't really help, because they were more worried about how they would lose their stature, so they done whatever the Romans were saying. So, brothers and sisters, we can see how Israel lost their sort of prophecy understanding because of this sort of conflict and tumult they were facing.